Hello everyone and welcome back. We're here, we find ourselves in the Nether of the ShrubSMP here on this episode, right where we left off entering the overworld portal which led us here. The hub of the Nether on the ShrubSMP, here we are in Season 6, and we're going to take a quick little look around just to see what the builders have built for the Nether hub, and then a quick little tour to get to where my main base of operations is at the Dark Castle 6.0. So as we first start out, the theme here in the Nether is the same with the exception of the color palette, and it really looks pretty cool. So we have the red tower here, and we have the black tower over there. The earthy yellow and sandstone tower. Oh my, look at this guy. We got a Ghast floating around in the background. Let's see if we can get him. Can we get him? First shot. I missed. Totally missed. So let's get him again. No, I can't miss more than twice. Third time's a charm. There we go. Got him. Okay. So, whoa, look out. Okay, the Nether's supposed to be in this... Ouch. We are supposed to be relatively peaceful here because of the way that we have the settings. The last thing you want in your SMP, where you have these beautiful and amazing structures at spawn, is to have ghasts and monsters, breaking them up and destroying them and everything. So, while I'm doing most of the destruction here, I'm whacking out the, oh gosh, stop it. We can't control, this is getting out of control. Speaking of control, we cannot control the magma blocks, so that's unfortunately, they're just stuck hopping around, but we can control the damage that the Ghast can do. So we have a setting on the server where even if that Ghast had seen me and shot a fireball at me, it would do no damage. It would do damage to me, but it wouldn't do damage to the environment. So now as I kind of keep my eyes open for any more magma blocks, if we continue our look around, we have the central structure here, which is this is just a really cool central spot where the main portal leads out, and then from there, depending on which direction your overworld build is, will depend on which pathway your nether tunnel can take. So as we head inside and take a closer look at the main structure, there are some suspiciously rare and impossible blocks that are being used to build. This is because this is the server admins and the XDs, as we call them, the moderators of the server. They kind of have this little sanctuary for when they come in, a little homage to themselves, basically, because there's a throne that, if by looking at the blocks, is extraordinarily expensive. We're talking netherite blocks, full netherite blocks right there, and a piece of ancient debris in the middle, surrounded by gold. There's a lore book here, which I will not read, but we'll just leave it in place. For all I know, if I were to go ahead and read that, I would be automatically smited and cast out into the void dimension, and that we definitely don't want that. The bedrock ceiling, definitely more suspicious activity here, but like we said, so heading out of the moderators area, we get a good look at the central tower there with the cool little feature on top. It's like a series of stairs that kind of look into this textured pillar on top of the tower, and the main tower surrounds the portal, and our poor fella in there is trapped. Boy, I feel so sorry for you after you're out there beating me up with your pals and your cousins, but enough of that. So we'll move on to through these towers. Let's get a quick look up top though, just to appreciate the builds. I'm gonna fly out. God, these guys are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. We're gonna get these guys off of here. They just don't belong, like, it's a shame that we can't get, they're cute and all, don't get me wrong, but they also pack quite a punch, especially the biggest one. So, anyway, we'll start looking around here at the top, if I don't get knocked off by one of them. This is a really cool use of magma blocks and glass, to make this tree. So we have it, while we had that cherry tree in the overworld, we have a, a nether fiery lava tree here in the nether. And again, our Japanese architecture inspired portals, the different colors representing different directions. I do understand there's some lore that I totally won't be able to get down, and I'll have to revisit once I understand the exact deities and other significant figures of different periods that they represent, and we'll get there in another time, but that's part of the history on why it was that these things were chosen. So with the 4 directions in place, including those, obviously there's a direction behind me, but I'm not sure where most of the others are. I believe they all are in the direction of the black tower, but I am in the direction of the red tower, along with a couple other folks. So we're going to quick fly down there and see how a nether tunnel works and kind of discuss our plans for what we may be doing in one of these next episodes. So as we progress down the hall, we kind of see this was all still part of the original spawn build. The builders built this in the theme that you're seeing here with the colors and the cutouts and these reds to represent the red path. Our signs indicate that this is on the way to the end portal, which in fact we're going to pass, and in the distance you see the entrance to my area, which is the Dark Castle 6.0 from an earlier episode in this series. This is our end portal hallway. We'll go down there and cover that at another time when we cover the end dimension, but since we entered the end for the first time and defeated the Ender Dragon right around the winter holidays, it's no surprise that this theme has the candy cane and some of the wintry elements involved, and there's plenty more on the other side of that hallway to look at and appreciate when we cover the end dimension in a future episode. But as we get closer, so I kind of made my standard little entranceway. This indicates that it's mine. There is no sign for the top. Wait, there is a sign on the other side. But the decoration I actually carried over from Season 5, you know, pretty much most of the elements here. Not all of it's done, although most of it's done. And we're going to throw some extra touches on here, including lava columns in these openings here. And then we'll look at closing off the entrance to the hallway and maybe putting some decorative elements on either side. I do like a little bit of movement, and I like things that are constantly, you know, catch your eye and appreciate these little details. And there's just about every detail you can have in this little hallway that we're looking at. That includes the crying obsidian. Every once in a while, these purple particles that fall off, the obsidian cries out with this material as then it falls down and drips to the ground just like that. So you got those particles going on. You may see these purple particles getting sucked into the black carpets, and that's because this is a cool little trick that I picked up along the way. Underneath the carpets, let's pop one off right now, is an ender chest. Just like any, there's all my shulker boxes right there, as my ender chest is always filled with them. But it serves as decoration. I mean, if you just cover it with a piece of carpet, now you have these subtle end particles, or even nether particles, portal particles, that just kind of appear and then get sucked into the floor. Very subtle, but at the same time provide this extra element of movement in the atmosphere down here. So as we go down through the hall, we then see smoke from campfires. So again, underneath carpets is a great way to cover an element that you don't really want to see what's underneath, but produces something on top, like the particles and the smoke. So we have these soul fires down here, and they produce the smoke that just kind of cover the entrance a little bit. But that's about it. I mean, my Dark Castle 6.0 is through this portal. So that's kind of the nether as it stands at this point for my path. There's plenty of other paths for other players in different directions. But from the spawn portal, what I intend to do, like we mentioned, is to do a little building and to probably clear out just this beginning part of the tunnel and extend the theme out past down to about here. I don't want to go all the way down to that end entrance where we were at the sign. And this is actually also my build here. We also want to do something with this area, which if we get closer, this is actually the ancient city. That portal in the middle of the ancient city underground is far enough away that I could actually have two separate portals. So I have the one here, which leads to the middle of the Dark Castle, and I have the one here that leads to the middle of the ancient city, just underneath it. And this area, as I take a step back, is going to be decorated. We're going to put some themed hallway and more structure to make it a little more permanent and a little less open nethery, so that it is very indicative of what the area that it leads to is. So we'll be, you know, putting a little more of what the Dark Castle looks like as a lead-in to that red hallway, and we're going to put a lot of maybe miniaturized ancient city elements in this area, so that it kind of almost looks like a small portion of the ancient city that leads you to the ancient city itself. That's kind of the idea that I have for this part right here. So between those two things, I think that, oh my gosh, where did you, these guys will come out of anywhere, I swear to God. They're everywhere. I mean, oh God, and they hurt too. It's just so funny. I can't, okay, now that he's out of the picture, literally, we can one more time say, again, this area right here behind me doesn't seem like much, but there's plenty of opportunity to kind of make it your own and make it really indicate what's on the other side of each portal, and the person who built it, which is me. So I can't wait to get started on that next.